Always be yourself, that is where you will find yourself. That is the key to the door for happiness and more. Always put your faith in your Lord, He will keep you safe. Don't ever feel no fear, He'll always be right here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear viewers, joining us on another episode on our fantastic program, Live Your Life. And I'm your host, Junaid Dar. Dear viewers, this beautiful program is bringing to you the Quran in a very realistic manner, in a manner which we can try to engage with, so much so that we can become part and parcel of the Quran. We can take these lessons and apply them in our daily lives. We are looking at the beautiful and the longest surah inside the Quran, and that is Surah Al-Baqarah. We looked at the first 5 verses, and those verses talk to us about the characteristics of the believers. Now we're going to continue and look at verse number 6 and 7, which talk to us about the characteristics of those who disbelieve. So before we do that, let us introduce our Sheikh, and then we can go into the characteristics of those who don't believe, and at the same time we can talk about the characteristics of those who claim they believe but they don't really believe. If I can turn to the Sheikh and introduce our guest, Dr. Saeed Al-Qadi, who is a carrier of Masters in Sharia and at the same time a PhD in education from London. Sheikh, I'd like to welcome you to the program and say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's my pleasure, Sheikh Junaid.
Okay, Sheikh, I want to ask you from at the beginning, not just talking about just the importance of learning the Quran, but why is it important for us to learn the characteristics of the believers, the kuffar, and the munafiqun?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the chapter of Al-Baqarah is clarifying to us the traits of the believers, the traits of the disbelievers, and the traits of the hypocrites, so that we can adhere to the believers' traits and to restrict ourselves or restrain ourselves from the behavior or the attitudes of or the traits of the hypocrites and disbelievers.
Okay, excellent. So, Sheikh, let's get right into it, as there is so much to discuss, as you can imagine. Verse number 6 in Surah Al-Baqarah goes as following: إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفْرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ.
Subhanallah. It means that those who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you warn them or you don't warn them, they will never believe.
Subhanallah.
Yes. These are the people whom Allah ta'ala has written their misguidance. So they are misguided, and there's a reason behind the misguidance. Allah ta'ala is just in everything. So Allah ta'ala will give them the opportunity to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be rightly guided. But they reject Allah's guidance, and they chose to take another path. Those people, whether we try as human beings, we try to guide them, do our best, try to convince them. If they chose the other way, Allah Ta'ala has dedicated a portion from mankind to go to the hellfire.
Okay.
In the Quran, Allah Ta'ala told us, وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ. Indeed, we have devoted to the hellfire many of the jinn kind and the mankind.
Subhanallah.
وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. They have hearts with which they understand not. وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. And they have eyes with which they see not. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. And they have ears with which they hear not. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. They are like the cattle, the farm animals, but they are more astray.
Subhanallah.
أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. They are the heedless ones, because Allah Ta'ala has given them the means to reflect, understand, and believe in Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they chose to disregard Allah and His revelation subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the heedless ones. They are the people of heedlessness.
Subhanallah. Very strong warnings there and descriptions of those who disbelieve. Okay, Sheikh, let's continue then. In the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ وَعَلَى بَصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ.
It means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sealed their ears and ختم الله على قلوبهم, Allah Ta'ala sealed their hearts. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. So there is a sealing on their hearts and their hearing as well, and there is as well a rust that is covering their as well vision.
Okay.
Okay, so they cannot see. And I'll give you an example. The Nabi ﷺ said, or Allah Ta'ala in the Quran described to us how some of the hypocrites or disbelievers who will come to the Nabi ﷺ, sit with him, and he will recite upon them his revelation, Allah's revelation, the Quran, and they won't be able even to listen to the Quran. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَسْتَمِعُ إِلَيْكَ. And some of them, O Muhammad, some of them who will give you ear. حتى إذا خرجوا من عندك قالوا للذين أوتوا العلم ماذا قال آنفا. And once they come out from your house or from your presence or from your assembly, they will ask those who have been given the knowledge, your companions, what he was talking about. Allah Ta'ala said, أولئك الذين ختم الله على قلوبهم. Those are the people, Allah Ta'ala, who are sealed. أولئك الذين طبع الله على قلوبهم. They are the people Allah Ta'ala has sealed their hearts.
Okay.
واتبعوا أهواءهم, and they followed their own desires. The reason why Allah Ta'ala has sealed their hearts because of their actions, their bad deeds, because they followed their own desires and their own whims.
SubhanAllah. And Shaykh, what interests me here is in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about the five senses. He talks about the hearing, He talks about the seeing, and He says that it's closed. But at the same time, He talks about the heart. And we know from the five senses that we are taught in the English language, the heart is not one of the five. But here Allah is saying the five. You have the heart involved. Why is that?
Well, the heart is an organ through which we can reflect. Like we reflect with our minds, we reflect through our hearts. And I'll ask a question now. The feeling of fear, where does it come from? From your heart.
Okay.
The feeling of love, it comes from your heart.
Okay.
Okay. The feeling of piety, it comes from the heart. Okay. Certainty comes from the heart. And likewise, doubt from the heart. Likewise, lack of faith in Allah Ta'ala from the heart. And likewise, well, some diseases that a person will have in his life, like envy, jealousy, hypocrisy, is from the heart.
Okay.
SubhanAllah. Therefore, when a person has a heart that is blind, a heart that cannot understand and see the truth, he's in great dilemma. Allah Ta'ala in the Quran said, فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. It is not the vision that grow blind, but it is the hearts that inside the chest. So Allah Ta'ala locate them that grow blind.
SubhanAllah.
SubhanAllah, yeah. So the heart is very important. If it's upright, righteous and sound, then the entire body will become upright, righteous and sound.
Okay. And Shaykh, is it not right that we are told, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that the key for us to be successful in the hereafter, to get into paradise and to save ourselves from the hellfire, is to come to Allah, to meet Allah with the qalb salim, to have a sound, good heart.
Allah Ta'ala in the Quran made it very clear saying, يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون. On that day, neither your wealth or your property or your children will be of any benefit to you.
SubhanAllah.
إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. Except for the one who came to Allah Ta'ala with a sound heart, a righteous heart. And that's why the people who know Allah Ta'ala the most, their dua is always to keep our hearts firm. Oh Allah Ta'ala, make our hearts firm, make our heart rightly guided. Because the person may afford the tribulation that afflicts him in his life, but he cannot afford the tribulation of the heart.
Okay.
That's why they say, ask Allah Ta'ala to keep the hearts firm. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا. Oh Allah, don't cause our hearts to go astray after you have guided us. وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Oh Allah, give us a mercy from you. You are the all-giving.
SubhanAllah. Beautiful, beautiful verses and beautiful recitation. Sheikh, if we can now continue, and we're going to look at the verses dealing with now with the hypocrites. And the following verse is as follows: وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ.
Subhanallah. Allah Ta'ala here describing the traits of the munafiqeen. And He's telling us how they behave. It's about 6 traits that we have there. And then 2 examples. Okay. The first trait, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And some people, they will say, we believe in Allah Ta'ala and in the hereafter, and they are not believers. So they show us something and they hide something else. One of the main traits of the hypocrites is that they show something and they hide something else. So they show that they're believers and they hide their hypocrisy.
So they behave and they speak and they present themselves like as if they are the best of the believers, but inside they are hollow and empty.
And that's why Allah Ta'ala in the Quran told us that when He resurrects them يوم القيامة, they will do the same manner.
SubhanAllah.
يوم يبعثهم جميعا فيحلفون له كما يحلفون لكم. So Allah Ta'ala, when He resurrect them on the Day of Judgment, they will swear and say, oh Allah Ta'ala, we did this and we believe in you. ويحسبون أنهم على شيء. They think that they will do something good. Allah Ta'ala knows that they are liars.
SubhanAllah. Very scary. The following verse, Sheikh, we find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Another
trait of the hypocrites, they try to fool Allah. They try to show that they are clever. Okay? يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُم. One of their main traits is they try to beguile and to fool Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the believers. But Allah Ta'ala is the one who fooled them.
SubhanAllah.
إن المنافقين يخادعون الله وهو خادعهم. The hypocrites are trying to fool Allah Ta'ala, but Allah Ta'ala is the one who fooled them. He is the creator. He knows them. He knows how they are created. And He knows what they are doing. وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى. One of their main attributes is that when they get up for the prayer, they get up in laziness.
Okay.
يراءون الناس ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. They do their actions for showing off. And they remember Allah Ta'ala, but little.
SubhanAllah. Sheikh, I want to look at something interesting at the end of the verse. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. That do they do this out of ignorance, not knowing, or is it with an intention to be a hypocrite?
Well, the main reason why they're doing this because they have shak, they have doubt in their hearts, which is disease. Allah Ta'ala in the Quran said after this verse, في قلوبهم مرض. The reason behind it is because they have a disease inside their hearts. It begins with heedlessness. A person will become heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will not reflect upon the Quran or on Allah's revelation or in Allah's creation. As Allah Ta'ala in the Quran mentioned, بل قلوبهم في غمرة من هذا. But their hearts is in heedlessness of this, Allah's revelation, or the hereafter. ولهم أعمال من دون ذلك هم لها عاملون. And they are engaged and busy with their life, with many things in their life, subhanAllah. And then this heedlessness will turn into hardness. Their heart will become very hard. As Allah Ta'ala in the Quran described, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْقَاسِيَةِ قُلُوبٍ مِنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Woe to those whom their hearts are hardened from Allah's remembrance. Then this hardness will turn into a disease.
Okay.
So all disease will come to them at that stage. Subhanallah Ta'ala, في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا.
Okay.
In their heart is a disease. Allah Ta'ala has increased the disease.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikh. We have come to the end of the program, and mashallah, we managed to cover the verses talking about the kuffar, and at the same time we've in the middle of the verses talking about the munafiqeen. So I'd like to thank you very much for coming and giving us your effort and explaining the Quran in such a beautiful manner.
Barakallah fik. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Let's conclude and say assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dear viewers, we have successfully completed another episode here on our program Live Your Life, and subhanAllah, how beautiful are these verses of the Quran, giving us indicators, giving us the characteristics of the people that we should be, the believers, The people that we have to avoid, we must avoid, and those are the disbelievers. And more severe than that are the hypocrites. And a question I would like to ask myself and ask everybody who's listening. When we hear the verses of the Quran, how do we behave? We said that the sign of the hypocrite is fi qulubihim marad, that he has a disease in his heart. The verses of the Quran are being recited and he is not moved. The verses talking about paradise, the beauty of paradise, and he is not excited. The verses talking about the azab, the punishment of the hellfire, are being recited and he does not care, he is heedless. This is a hypocrite. Let's check ourselves, my dear brothers and sisters. Let's contemplate and let's try to have those characteristics of the believers as we discussed in our program. On that note, we'd like to conclude and thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you in our next episode. So until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Always be yourself, that is where you will find yourself. That is the key to the door for happiness and more. Always put your faith in your Lord, He will keep you safe. Don't ever feel no fear, He'll always be right here. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Always be yourself, that is where you will find yourself. That is the key to the door for happiness and more.